Time now for your local sports with Andy Curtis.
School basketball season kicked off 2018 last night with the Capital High boys making that trip up north to take on Great Falls. Jumping into things here, Bruins led by 2 at the half, and Parker Johnston into the lane, off the glass and in. The road team is looking good early on. Capital works it around here now to Bridger Groven for the corner three, 5-point Bruin lead. But here come the Bison. Hunter McKinney from the top of the arc. No problem, he ties it up. Precision, skill, and intensity. That pretty much sums up Isaac. But I figured I could still give him a few pointers to help him out before he headed to state.
I don't want to just win this state title. I want to dominate at my weight. I don't want to just win. I want to dominate every kid I wrestle and not make a single mistake.
I want to say good luck to Isaac and all of our area wrestlers. Intelligence, athleticism, and toughness are your requirements for being a goalie? Then I'm your guy. So being the man that I am, and always looking for an excuse to miss actual work, I asked Ebby to show me the ropes with a little bit of help from her horse, Zeke the Streak.
Just keep the rope tight and, bend your knees good, get that good old basketball stance going on a little bit there, and should be good to go.
Well, she knows what she's talking about because after a slow and somewhat terrifying start, I found my ski legs and was tearing up the course just like a grizzled vet. Great teams have one thing in common: chemistry. And the Helena Capital football team helps maintain theirs by getting back to the great outdoors.
Something that we kind of do is kind of get away, enjoy the Montana outdoors. We're all kind of born and raised and very active outdoors, and we kind of have a connection like that between coach and players.
The bonds that players and coaches make during high school sports can last long after the game is over. And the Helena Capital football team is a great example of that. Because when they're not on the field, a handful of players and coaches are here, in the field, spending almost every weekend hunting or fishing whatever's in season.
It's something when we're before practice or after practice that we'll talk about, just kind of something to get our mind off of football every once in a while.
Before, after practice, or just any time. I mean, it always gives us something to talk about and stuff, and it just builds like a friendship.
But it's more than just about making some new hunting buddies. These good bonds outside of the games lead to great bonds during the season.
I ordered a new zinc one that I told you.
We have that line. They know where player, coach, and our friendship is. But when it's game time and we're talking, I mean, the trust, the bond that we have, it's kind of inseparable, and it's helped us in the last 3 years. So.
Just gives us another thing in common. I mean, obviously we have football, add hunting to it. It's fun to spend time with people who have common interests. But as far as the players, developing that relationship, establishing trust, and I mean, it just helps us out quite a bit.
And hopefully for these guys, the friendships are ones that last a lifetime.
If you're with people that love football and then you find that they like other stuff that you like too, then it just strengthens the friendship and everything, and just makes everything a lot more fun.
I got to coach some pretty cool kids the last 3 years in a row. I got to have them from their sophomore year to their senior year. I hope this relationship continues beyond high school. When they get older, when they have kids, when they get married, I'm hopefully in part of their life and someone that they call if they ever need help from.
In one more time, the wind is helping us right now.
We obviously have a relationship through football. That's how we've kind of met all these kids. And then if we can continue to do stuff outside of football and spend time together, it just helps build those relationships and make them more lifelong rather than in the moment.
From the looks of it, they have a great shot of doing just that.
Time now for your Storm Tracker weather.
Hey everybody, happy Thanksgiving and welcome back to Weather. Andy Curtis filling in for Curtis Grevenitz today. There's not a lot going on in the sports world, and I crushed it yesterday, so I figure why not give weather a shot? And don't worry about it, I'm a trained professional, so I know what I'm talking about, and I know we're going to be experiencing some near record temperatures tomorrow. Take a look at this behind me. 67 degrees is what we're projecting up in Great Falls. The previous high temp at this time of the year was 63 degrees, set way back in 1942, and that's going to be the case across most of the state. 64, 65, 60, 65. It's going to be balmy out there, but it's not exactly going to feel like it. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about coming up here in a little bit. Going up to Great Falls. Beautiful Great Falls this time of year. You can take a look at that. And if you're up there enjoying the scenery, you're going to enjoy the temperature as well. 57 degrees, but it's a little windy because we are under a high wind watch as we speak. We got wind coming in 29 miles per hour, gusts of 38, and it's only going to get worse going into tomorrow. Now let's head down to Helena. A little bit more going on down in the capital city. Temperatures are very similar, 51 degrees. It was 60-ish earlier.
Sure. And that was a starter wave, right?
Probably the biggest hurdle right away would be people's unfamiliarity, and that makes them nervous and apprehensive.
Do I look cool?
You look like Mr. Incredible.
That's good.
Really look to just have.
I think I got a little bit better understanding.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Live here at Helena High before the big crosstown game between the undefeated Helena High girls and undefeated Capitol High Bruins. The unstoppable force versus an immovable object. And tonight, something's going to have to give. Former Great Falls star Jake Wetzel. Jake Buckets nails this corner three. That's money, easy money, folks. And then just before the half, Jared Schultz, transition layup off the give and go, making it look good for the home crowd. Providence led 34-32 at the break. But Northern moving the ball well. A lob to Reeves, who throws it down. A little bit extra hang time. Delaney Junkemeyer, a three from the top of the key. She hits it, of course. She had 22 points on the evening. Then Rebecca Hatchard from deep, no problem. The Aussie totaled 16. Moments later, Hannah Caudell joins the party with this three, and the Cats are rolling. They had 18 threes in the game. That's a school record, and MSU wins their 30th straight home game, defeating Southern Utah 91-71. The Montana State women's basketball team started their day today just like any other with an early morning practice. But that's where the same old ended, and they boarded a plane bound for Seattle and their first NCAA tournament in 24 years. But if they're feeling the pressure from this historic accomplishment, they're not showing it.
Well, we're here with Anna Kalai of the Montana State Bobcats, and I just want to ask you a few questions here today. How excited and how do you feel going into this next game?
I mean, I'm really excited. I think it's gonna be a great experience for us, and yeah, I think we're all really excited to keep up our season and just take it to Washington.
I don't think we have nerves yet. I hope that they don't come, but I mean, knowing that it's a sold-out game, I mean, I think when we get there and we look up in the stands and see every seat in the house is taken, it might sink in a little bit more at that point.
Being on national TV, I mean, ESPN2 will be really cool, and having so many people there just because we have 3 or 4 girls from the Washington State and basically like a home game.
We've prepared them in advance as far as the extra media attention, the extra media coverage, boosters traveling with us, a lot of administration, all the different factors outside that are going to be a little bit new, and then try to keep everything else to be the same, to be quite honest. So we're trying to just prepare like we would any other game.
And with a handful of the players being from right here in Washington, the team was in store for some good old-fashioned Pacific Northwest hospitality.
We're just going to go over to the Barhoom's house tonight for dinner and try to do something a little bit lower key and hang out and enjoy being in Seattle before we lock in for tomorrow.
We're going to be with the team for the remainder of their run in the tournament. We're going to have more for you tomorrow and, of course, Saturday. But until then, in Seattle, Washington, for MTN Sports. Well, it's been 24 years since Montana State was last in the NCAA tournament, and though tonight's game didn't go exactly how they wanted, it was still one heck of a season.
I can't think of a more exciting team, a more fun team to have coached. And we just addressed it back there. Unfortunately, there's only one team that gets to finish with a win. It's always hard to finish the season on this. But at the same time, we promised them that we were going to give a great effort, and we definitely left it all out there.
No one more than Peyton Ferris, who scored 33 points while playing with a heavy heart after losing a close family friend this week.
I talk about it being a dream, and I was kind of, I'm not going to lie, I was kind of anchored down by emotions this whole week. And that kind of kept me calm, though. I didn't really, I was just numb this week, I guess. But But then again, this environment kind of offset it. You come in and think about where you're at and appreciate life.
That was Cats basketball, and some things got away from us. Credit University of Washington. They are a very talented squad that we hope will go far in the tournament. But Peyton Ferris is the real deal.
And to be able to ride them and communicate with them and get them to be your partner doing this is a pretty spectacular thing.
And it's not just cows these riders and their horses can work.
Come on, now stop, turn the other way. Go.
Still trying to get to my car in Bozeman, Andy Curtis, MTN Sports.
Whether you're working as a guide or a member of the general public, and they need protection. And as guides, our number one role is to make sure we have rivers that we all can fish and enjoy.
Let's hope they keep up the good work. In Livingston, Andy Curtis, MTN Sports. Down a couple of classes, the Class C, and a battle of the undefeateds. Fort Benton, Box Elder, and the Lady Bears starting strong. Lillian Gophers found open down the floor here. Look at that brilliant up and under move for the bucket. And it's Gopher again. She finds 6-3. Cecilia Veely under the basket. She fights off the double team and puts it up and in. Box Elder leads 34-19 at the half. Second half, Longhorns trying to fight back. McKenna Hanford is open in the corner. She drills that three, but it wouldn't matter. Lady Bears just too powerful in this one. Box Elder goes on to remain undefeated. Back in the stands watching that win tonight was Helena superfan Bengal Billy. The longtime fixture at Helena Sporting Events has been battling some health issues recently that made attending games a little bit more difficult. But he was back tonight, and it's always something the team appreciates.
Upbeat personality. All the kids love him and respect him, and he still brings a smile to everybody's face.
He sparks our team. Honestly, he sparks the entire program. Like when he's here, he just has so much energy. It's nice to have somebody like that.
Let me put on my meteorologist hat for a second and show you what this big L is. Technically, that's a low pressure system, and that's bringing in all this. Green usually means nasty when we're talking weather, and that's bringing it in our direction. And that's going to be coming in probably the west side of the state tomorrow morning. Gone from unranked all the way up to number 14 in the polls this week, and they're looking to prove their spot tonight against MSU Northern. Close game in the third quarter, and Brandy Lamborn with a great cutting pass to Kalina Zagapool. But the Argos, they're going to answer right back. Stephanie McDonough with a great first step for the layup. Now the Argos led 49-43 entering the fourth. That's when Lamborn gets red hot. Step back jumper here to keep things close. You can see behind me, we are live at the Bears Den just before tip-off between Helena High, Helena Capital. Big crosstown showdown tonight, and it's scheduled to start at 7:30. So if you're watching me right now, you still got some time to get down here, and I highly recommend that you do it because it's going to be a great game. Capitals Caleb Bradford in control of Caleb McKay, and he's going to roll up the Bengal for the easy pin. We'll jump up a couple of pounds, a couple of sandwiches, if you will, to 160. And Helena's Connor McKay with a nice takedown of Dalton Snyder. And this McKay will eventually work that into a pin, and he's going to help keep Helena in it tonight. Then 2 minutes left. Mackenzie Johnston on the break kicks it to Taylor Goligoski for three. She buries it. It's a one-point game, 56-55. Same score now, 30 seconds left. Montana, nothing going in this possession until Sophia Stiles cuts it in the paint, scores and one. Lady Grizz take their first lead of the game. Now this game goes into overtime, and the Lady Grizz hold on to start conference play. They win it 70-62.
The coolest part about this job is getting to drive one of these.
Bozeman, Andy Curtis. MTN Sports.